But one of the things that the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 13 is that love is patient, love is kind, it's not easily angered, it is not proud, it doesn't boast. And one of the characteristics of love too is that it's not selfish. It's not self-seeking. A lot of people, they are afraid to get up in front of an audience, so they don't use their gifts. Like the power of God isn't strong enough to empower you to stand in front of people. Right? Love is not selfish. Now, there are some people who say, well, you know, I have these talents, I have these gifts, but I really don't know how to start. I don't know how to move in the direction of using my talents and gifts. And you know what my response is to that? I have never met anybody who sincerely asked God for guidance regarding which gift or talent they should use, and they did not get an answer. What the problem is many people don't like the answer that they get. Like, I know this girl, God told her repeatedly, create a book of poetry. And she has like 5,000 hits from her account where she's have a blog of poetry. And God has told her repeatedly, the book of poetry that you have, get an agent to get it published. But she's afraid. We're afraid. What do you do when you're afraid? God has commissioned you to do something, but you're scared. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but now fear come against you. So what you're saying is, I want to use my gifts and talents, but the spirit of fear comes against me. Joyce Meyer said, well, do it afraid. I saw Paula Patton in this movie with, I remember seeing this really beautiful African-American and white actress, Paula Patton, in this movie. And the whole time, it was like her real big first role. The whole time you can see her leg literally shaking on camera. But she's doing it.
So Angel had a little bit of fright, stage fright happening.
She did.
And it did. What about your first screen test you ever did for a movie? Was there ever kind of similar experience?
Well, you know, my first screen test for a movie was for Idlewild.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I was scared out of my mind. I mean, I didn't realize, for this screen test, they set up sets. They had extras. It was like you were shooting a scene for the movie. And here you know that you've gotten to the place of a screen test. So you have to perform. And I couldn't sleep the night before, and I had that awful feeling in your stomach where you're like, oh my God. But then once you get out there and you say your first line, you're like, okay, I'm here. Let's go do it.
Yeah.
Let's have fun.
Just because I feel fear doesn't mean that I can't do it. But now the third movie I saw her in, I didn't see that fear anymore.
Agent Jane Carter is as fierce as the boys, if not fiercer, and she is someone to contend with. She's strong, she's smart, and she's also a bit vulnerable. She doesn't let a lot of people see that side of her, but she's a vulnerable woman as well, that you will learn as you watch the film is lost someone she's loved. Shooting the girl fight, or woman fight, or cat fight, as all the guys like to call it on the set, between Leia and I was really so much fun. And I have a very many sides of my personality, but I've got a tough side of my personality, and so I was ready to dig into this moment and this fight. And Leia was such a great sport. She was really awesome. We had so much fun together. We rehearsed tirelessly together to make it work. And honestly, I left with a little bit of a girl crush.
God bless you.
Now listen, men need to be tamed, okay? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna put it down. They're animal, they're wild beasts. You need to put salve on them. It's hard.
Hey,
You know it's the truth. I was a pimply faced kid who didn't really fit into the world that I was placed in. My parents got divorced when I ended up trying to follow my brother to this private school, and so everybody else was getting picked up in Mercedes-Benz and by their nannies, and my mom would come toot 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 in her Honda Accord. No, it wasn't even a Honda Accord, it was a hatchback.
Hatchback?
Yeah,
So
I was like, oh, Mom, can you just let me get the Guess jeans, please,
Right.
please? No, we can't afford it. So I never felt like I fit in with those girls, and I was always big for my age, and it kind of took me a while to just sort of grow into my body, and I was a bit klutzy, and just bigger than the other girls, and just couldn't control my hair.
But then you grew,
And then I grew up, yes. And then I went to public school, and that's when I learned that it was a good thing to have a big butt. I was like, oh, this is good. This public school
This is
thing
valuable.
is gonna work out. And it's funny you bring that up, but I think that's probably why I didn't go after being an actress at that time. Even though I had done it in school, I don't think I had the confidence to like pursue it as a professional career, so I decided I wanted to be behind the camera. It felt safer there for me. Yeah, I have such a love for film. I've loved film since I was a little girl. And when my parents, let's put it this way, it wasn't the best childhood, okay? And so I escaped in these movies, and I would create them in my head, and so the really extended knowledge. When I go to Blockbusters, I'm like, I've seen it.
You're like the worst date at
saw
Blockbuster?
it. No, I saw it already twice. Yeah, exactly. Worst date ever at Blockbuster.